New York City police and Homeland Security reportedly making a major bust of migrant criminals tied to the notorious Venezuelan gang R-N.Y. The two alleged gang members are also linked to that Aurora, Colorado apartment takeover. The pair were arrested Wednesday. Both have arrest warrants from the Aurora Police Department. They were arrested alongside 13 other suspected TDA members during a gang task force raid in the Bronx. I want to bring in New York Congressman Nick Langworthy. He's a member of the House Oversight, Agriculture and Rules Committee's congressman. I want to get your reaction to the fact that these two gang members are now in New York, in the Bronx. Obviously, they traveled, if these charges are correct.
Well, this is shocking news, Cheryl. It is just a continuation of what we've seen time and again with the migrant crisis finding its way right onto New York City's doorstep, and it's our sanctuary city policies of Kathy Hochul to blame. We have, now we have a new series of questions: is how did they end up in New York? Was this part of the, the failed Biden-Harris agenda, which gave massive benefits for relocation to illegals and allowing them to get flights or train or bus tickets to their favorite destination? But this is what was rejected on November 5th by the American people. And we have, there's help on the way on January 20th when we get really serious about the border crisis. But, every New Yorker is unsafe under these sanctuary policies that really encourage migrants, especially migrants that seek to, create crime and harm as they arrive in New York.
Well, okay, so no, the residents of New York, the taxpayers of New York are not safe, but I thought to myself immediately when they talked about, when Kathy Hochul came out and made those statements about, sanctuary cities, if I'm a member of TDA, I'm going to go to New York, I'm going to go to Los Angeles, because Chicago, because that's where you're getting this political rhetoric that we're going to protect our new friends. So that's exactly what these two did. That is my opinion, and I think that you're going to see more of this. They're going to flood the sanctuary cities and get out of where they think they're most vulnerable, like Aurora, Colorado. Michael Balboni's on set with me. He's got a question for you, and I know you two know each other. So,
hey, good morning, Congressman.
Absolutely.
So the question I have for you is: we're talking about a story this morning where there's a bunch of very wealthy oil executives saying to President Trump, you should strike a deal with President Maduro and Venezuela to take their oil, or buy their oil for less migrants. Seems to strike me as an odd situation in that the president has facilitated the gangs coming into the United States from Venezuela, and which is a superhighway for drugs into this country. And President Trump has already pointed out right now, put a stake in the ground and said, we will stop the fentanyl crisis that's happening in this country. Your reaction?
Well, what we know about President Trump is he's a master negotiator, and he's going to use all the leverage. He's already using leverage to talk about tariffs, to talk about political and geopolitical implications on countries. You've seen his edicts to Canada and to Mexico to get real about this border crisis, to shut these borders down, to stop the flow of fentanyl, and to stop the flow of illegals coming into this country. They're going to pay a price if they don't play along in help America seal these borders. I don't know the specifics on dealing with Venezuela. I think we would have to dig a lot deeper into that. But the reality is, we have to stop this. And President Trump's going to use every tool in his arsenal to shut these borders down. This is obviously his primary focus. Day one is creating a more safe America, to stop the flow of these criminals coming into this country, to again respect the sovereignty of the United States of America, that we do have borders and they do matter, and that Mexico and Canada have to acknowledge that and participate in that. But I'd be a little remiss to get into bed with the Venezuelan government over this and create some deal. Right. But at the same time, we have to shut this down.
And I want to clarify
They're
for
sending their
you.
worst.
I do want to clarify just to make sure there's no confusion here. This is a report in the Wall Street Journal that oil executives and also some lobbyists are going to the president-elect to say, here's what we want you to do. So we don't have a response from Donald Trump on this. Just I want to be real clear here. If that's what they want, but we don't know what he wants.
Right. To be clear, President Trump he's playing chess right now, and he's making it clear to the world stage that America means business again. I mean, a lot of world leaders are used to dealing with a very weak and feckless president for the last 4 years.
Yeah.
They've run roughshod on the United States of America. That comes to an end on January 20th at noon. And President Trump will be back in the saddle. He means business. He wants to wind down the wars across the world. He wants to make sure that America is safe again and that we stop the invasion of our country. And he's going to get it done. And we're going to work in the Congress to give him all the tools he needs to get that done.
Meanwhile, we have until January 20th, and it's not even yet December. And that's why I think a big concern and a valuable concern right now is to look at where these migrants that know that they're going to be possibly deported, where they go. New York City. All right, Congressman Nick Langworthy, thank you very much for being